I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Jackson County Commission. This will be a work session, September 17th, 2018. We'll start with a roll call. Mr. Manning?
District 1, Mr. Guthrie.
Present.
District 2, Mr. Venable. Present. District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Sis. Present. Chairman present.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Now we'll have the invocation by Mr. Jeff Arnold.
Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you once again for this day. Lord, we thank you for all your blessings on us. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful county that we live in. Lord, we thank you for the weather that we've had. Lord, we pray that you just be with those that are less fortunate. Lord, those that are in this hurricane and these floodings. Lord, we just send our prayers and our thoughts out to them. Lord, we just pray that you bless this proceeding today. Lord, I pray that you guide these commissioners. Lord, give them patience and knowledge. And Lord, watch over us and guide us in everything that we do. We pray that we bring honor and glory to your name. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Now join Ms. Gilbert with a pledge of allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting, September 17th, 2018.
Make one change and scratch public comment A. She's not going to be speaking.
Okay, we'll move to make that one change. After that change, do we have a motion to accept the agenda as written?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Next, we have public comments from citizens. We have one that was deleted from that. We have no one else on the agenda to speak tonight. We'll move on to discussion items from the commission. First, we have the uniform bid. And you'll see in your packet that Dogs won the bid and was the only bidder.
It's the same company that's currently doing it.
Yes, it is. And they would like to use these people. If there's no objection, we'll put this on the agenda for the next commission meeting. Next, we have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's holidays. We had discussed about giving extra days during this time to the employees.
I don't remember if ever given multiple days on Thanksgiving or New Year's.
We did Christmas.
Yeah, then Christmas. I'm fine with what's proposed for Christmas, but what's everybody else's thoughts on Thanksgiving and New Year's?
What did we normally do on Thanksgiving? Give Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, Thursday's already.
Yeah.
Then we go with Friday. Oops.
And we've done it different every year.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do 2 days, sometimes 2.5 days.
So, okay, we're under the agreement that Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it'll be 22nd, 23rd.
Okay, what about Christmas? Christmas falls on Tuesday.
I'm fine with giving Monday and Wednesday for Christmas. Yeah, that's Thanksgiving and Christmas, the time you spend with your family.
Right. So you're saying the 24th and 26th for December?
24th, 25th, 26th.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It'll be 3 days on it.
And then on New Year's Day falls on Tuesday as well. Looking at Monday and Tuesday.
We can either decide that or wait till later.
Closer to the time.
Yeah, we might need to wait because of the weather. Who knows how many weather closings we're gonna have that will keep the people from having access to services.
Good point.
Let's just put this off for November.
Okay, we'll table this until the first work session in November.
So
We
the,
can, we're gonna wait
We're
for
going
these
ahead
two on
with
here.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, like we
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I agree with that.
November,
So we'll put the Thanksgiving and Christmas on the agenda for the next commission meeting.
yeah.
Next, we have the DHR lease agreement. It's something that's been going on for a little while here, and Mr. Porter and myself have discussed this back and forth some. And they basically are counter offering, but they can't pay any rent until we do have a lease in hand.
What to say?
And they have a representative that is willing to meet with us at our time, and preferably as soon as possible.
What is the difference in these two contracts? One of them ours and one of them theirs?
Well,
This is the first one seeing us.
they have two different lease drafts for our consideration. And,
Yeah, I just tell you, I sent everybody an email, I don't know whether you got it, it was a summary.
But I didn't get a chance to.
Okay, understood. They sent two proposals. One is basically the same deal we got now, $1 a square foot, and they're responsible for everything. The other proposal is $5 a square foot, and we're responsible for everything, down to the toilet paper and the light bulbs. So those are their two proposals, and under the $5 square foot, we'd be responsible for all maintenance, cost of upkeep, utilities, everything. And in my email, if you didn't get to read it, I said I can't really recommend to the commission either one of these two options.
I agree.
Check them out with the $5 like it is, and they still be responsible.
well, you know, that's their proposal, that's not ours.
Right,
Right.
right.
You know, I think that the commission needs to decide what they would like, and then we could, Mr. Porter and myself can meet with
Yeah.
the people that, with the state.
So we could take these in hand and mark them up and give them back to you?
Sure.
That work, guys, take them home, mark them up, read them.
Well, I say we need to have a little discussion, a meeting thing right there where we,
Well, about $8 a square foot is pretty typical, office
Yeah.
space lease around town.
And we
Did
did
you say $5?
$8.
$8.
Yeah.
It's
So,
typical, we went 5.
we went 5, and, you know, I'd be willing to come off the 5 a little bit, but not, you know,
Not $1.
yeah.
Would the commission be, would they entertain the thought of maybe selling the building if they would be interested in buying it?
I would.
They haven't made that, they haven't mentioned that, but I thought I'd put that out on the table just in case.
I would be.
Possibility, I didn't really thought.
If you give it to them as an offer, that we'll lease it to you for X dollars a square foot, and you'll be responsible for everything, or we'll sell it to you.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, if we go $5, draw a proposal up $5, all we gotta do is present it, $5, and then still be,
We've already presented that one though, haven't we, Mr.?
we didn't,
We did.
We did?
We did present $5, and that's when they came
They
back with
countered.
$5, and we would be responsible for everything.
but they hadn't really got no place to just pull out and go to.
No.
How many square foot is that?
You know,
That's
that's normal, they gonna come back, we can tell you that, but.
Yeah.
18,662.
I mean, that's looking at the numbers,
If
but
y'all-
I think $8 would be a good one.
Our maintenance
We're
folks
gonna
are
keep up
already
with it.
stretched. You know, I don't want the responsibility of the maintenance of the building, because we don't have enough people, you know, to cover it.
And Bill is, what, 25 years old, and we don't need
Yes.
to.
And,
I'm not at all for the current lease rate.
no,
No.
I don't think anybody is. But I don't think we should drop below 5.
5 the absolute lowest, everybody feels like we should drop, I mean.
And with them
They'll take
maintaining
full
the maintenance just like they're
I
doing.
say 5, and then take full
Five. responsibility,
because like I said, they ain't gonna place this pulled out immediately, they gonna come back and counter offer like they done. I mean, that's whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah, so we could tell them 8's the standard, you know,
And also throw the option to buy in there.
yeah.
So you want us to set up a meeting with them and our price is $5? Will them continue to do the maintenance and give them the option to buy the building?
If they wanna make a new proposal, we'd be willing to look at it, but that's what we come up with
Not
on
looking
this.
at these.
Okay, we'll try to get a meeting set up when Mr. Porter's available, because they said they're pretty much willing to anytime.
Yeah, they're pretty desperate.
And,
What's that figure in a month? What's that figure per month? 9,000?
It's in the next thing, 7,000 something.
7,000.
so we'll just move forward after this meeting and try to put it on the next available work session. that satisfactory?
Yes, sir.
77.
Next, we have the ACCA one-time longevity bonus. Now, this is from the ACCA, and basically, if we continue to do business with them through 2021, we will be able to get a one-time bonus. I don't have that number for me, Mr. Manning, do you remember? It's like $31,000.
I think that this year it was like 36,000 or something, and that's for the end of the 3 years we're currently in.
Right.
Next year would be in relation to the numbers.
Yeah, so somewhere around $36,000 if we sign that for 3 years. And as far as I know, we are satisfied with the insurance as it has been in the past. They have shared some of the spoils with us, especially with the safety incentive and with this bonus. If we do this, this will be the second time that we'll have received this. And what they asked is just for a resolution stating that we're gonna do it, to be back in their hand.
And your rates are much better than anything else we've been able to get.
True. So if there's no objection, I'll place this on the agenda for the next commission meeting. Next, we have a senior RX employee contract. It's set to expire 10/1/18. This is the lady that helps, that was hired since I've been here. She might have been temp before, but then we put her on as a contract employee for a year. And I think this is, it's coming up if we want to extend this contract one more year.
Is that not the department we were talking about, having someone retiring?
Senior
No,
RX.
at this time.
She's on his contract right now, right?
Right. Mhm. I believe she was on a 1-year contract, and it's going up to expire on 10/1.
What kind of workload, I mean, do they have a workload that they need this additional person?
No one's here to speak to that.
Right now, they do.
What kind of they do?
They have more than exceeded what their expectations were as far as getting new people on
On the program?
they exceeded it like in 6 months for what was necessary for a year to keep getting the matching funding through TARCOM.
This is the lady also that went out and get some signs put on, because sponsor deal, is that right? What she was talking about, is this the same one?
No,
It's not the
this,
same one?
this is one that it's the senior RX, it's where they go to the doctor's office sometimes and get prescriptions, and they deal with the drug companies and so on.
Vouchers,
Okay.
yeah.
Different one then. Okay.
Well, if there's no objection, I'll place this on the agenda to renew this contract for another year on the next commission meeting. Next, to discuss the reactivating the Paint Rock Valley Park Board. We discussed this earlier when Mr. Kevin Duke was here, was wanting us to establish a park board. And after going back and doing a little bit of research, there it was a park board already in place, but it had been inactive since 2011.
We just need to re-advertise.
Right, if we want to do this, we would just advertise. You'll notice in your packet, the last one came off in 2012, and that's the last activity that the park board had.
Do we want to continue with this many people on this board?
I've talked with several of these people right here, and they put in a few words that I couldn't discuss about tonight, with the situation that went on. And most of them was like, I said something to Mr. Porter here a few months ago when it came out in the emails. The question was, what is the utility bill run? What is the insurance that keep run? And what's the taxes run? And, the 4 different ones I talked to, they said, really you need to get all that together and bring it to the table, and we'll see about forming a board, because nobody really wants to be a part of the board. to know what's taking place.
This is about the school, right?
Yeah.
This is a school.
I mean, is there anybody
No.
in that area got that kind of money to pay that many thousands of dollars a month to keep the
No.
lecture on?
No, but they really wanna know what could be their part of maybe keeping the gymnasium and the ball field and the library it was built on last, and see about some of the historical division coming on with the school to keep up. But without any money, and I think it's gonna be ridiculous probably. But you
Well,
know,
the only thing that the commission is involved in with that would be to reactivate the board.
And I'd be willing to reactivate the board, let them do some studying and try to come up with a business model.
That would be up to the board. Once we approve people to be on the board, that would be up to the board.
But the board needs to understand that their funding will not come from here.
Exactly.
I
Because we're
told them
stretched
that.
enough already taking care of
Told
everything
them that,
else.
and I said, it won't come anything from us, and it won't come from Board of Education, you know. But, you know, I really needed a little time to talk to them more. You know, that's what they said, we need to have a meeting at the school and see before this board formed. I said, well, I understand, I said, I'm just in a commissioner on this part that they're asking for.
And then we need to check on, I guess, if they're gonna use it for basketball and stuff like that, liability insurance, and who would be.
There'll be a lot of stuff that
Accidents.
the board will have to meet on, discuss, bring to the commission, us discuss, and before we ever accepted a building or anything, there needs to be a lot of legwork done.
Well,
And you need, some very active people on the board that'll do that legwork and not
Yeah.
just wait on something to happen, because it's gonna be up to that board to make something happen.
Like with the historical society or grants or whatever.
Won't we just advertise it, just say what kind of
Well,
response we get? We might not even get a big response.
Again, the commission's part is to reactivate the board and advertise for board members. If we don't get any board members on it, it'll die from.
Well, I'm fine with doing that. I don't know that we need a 7-member board.
No.
5?
5,
That's what I would think.
drop it down to a 5-member
Yeah.
board, and I'm fine with that being on next week's
But
agenda.
we do need to put something in the board guidelines that we are not responsible for the facility.
Yeah, well, they won't have the facility until we accept the facility, correct? I mean, the county has to
The county won't
sign.
accept the responsibility of it,
The
period.
park will have the.
But
The
I know.
board can, more than.
Board.
Yeah, the board will be able to accept it.
Okay.
But the way the parks used to run was they were basically separate and independent.
Right.
They were appointed, the county technically would own county park, for instance,
Right.
but it was managed by the board. That would be the same thing that you would have here, is have properties that were managed by the board with a lease agreement from the Board of Education,
2.
right, to the park board.
Okay.
Now, I would also suggest that if this occurs, that we limit this to school property and not extend it to the current park that's there.
Right.
Also, can we, put something in there that they have to come back to us before they can accept that building, they have to present some type of a business model to us and some type of a plan on how they're gonna proceed.
Because they're teaching the park, so there'll be mowing for that facility also. And we're already having to do the other.
Why don't we do this, if you want to advertise for a 5-member board, then you can go ahead and do that. And then before the park board is reestablished, then in the resolution that you would review, then we'll put these conditions in there. So that the resolution itself, reestablishing the board, will have all those conditions in there.
Okay, if there's no objection, I'll place this on the agenda for the next commission meeting, and that would be to reactivate the board with 5 members, and we'll advertise as such, but this will be after we vote on it at the next commission meeting.
I would suggest, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, that at the next meeting, all you do is advertise.
Right.
You don't vote to reinstate the board, just
Right.
advertise.
Okay.
Take it one step at a time. And then if you don't get anybody who wants to do it, then
You
you
don't
don't.
have to go forward with it.
Before we reinstate the board, we need to have a resolution in place and all agree on it.
Right.
Next, we have a report from staff. Chief Harlan, you have anything?
No, it's just been a busy week.
I bet it has. Mr. Manning?
No, sir.
Mr. Campbell?
No, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Porter?
I don't have it done.
Next, we'll hear from the commission. Ms. Gilbert,
No, sir.
Mr. Sis,
No.
Mr. Venable,
No, sir, not soon.
Mr. Guffey.
Just got one thing, we're fixing to start kicking off a program called Volunteer Jackson County. We have a volunteer, Pat, with EMA, who's gonna start a database. It's kind of a neat thing, we got a bunch of volunteer fire departments, people volunteer with the sheriff's department, and an array of different volunteers out there that never gets any recognition. Well, this way, this database will be kept up, and depending on how many hours they get, they'll get like a gold award, a platinum award. So it's, we'll be kind of unveiling that in the next few weeks. I'm trying to get this database and an email set up, so as we get it more set up, I'll let people know, but that's gonna be something I think is gonna be good for the people of Jackson County. That's all I got.
Okay. I have one thing. I wish y'all would keep your thoughts and prayers to Miss Kathy Hancock, who is on our staff here. She'll begin treatments this week for a medical condition, so remember her. This concludes everything on today's agenda, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make it motion.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Meeting adjourned.